All right, so welcome everyone. Nice to see you. So today's topic would be kindness and appreciation, and the power of these two states, of being able to appreciate something, being able to receive something with kindness, right? When we say to be kind, then usually we think about being kind to other people. But we have to start somewhere with our kindness, with this practice. And the best place to start is, of course, with yourself. It's also that place that probably has the most impact on other people. Sometimes people, they wonder, how can I change others? How can I change the world? How can I make my mom meditate? I get these questions quite often. Like, are there any tips? What could I do to make my mom meditate more? This answer is very simple. Just really practice being kind to yourself. Because this is where most of us are completely lacking. It's quite shocking, actually. The ability to not be kind, or the ability to be kind to ourselves. What that actually means. What does it mean to be kind to myself? When I put you in a room and I say, now, okay, I give you 1 hour, I will lock the door, and your task is very simple, just be kind to yourself. What would you be doing in that room for 1 hour? So we all probably have some different ideas what to do in this room for 1 hour, being kind to ourselves. Maybe quite a lot of people, they would try something physical, like kind of stroking their arm or something, being kind to their body, maybe giving themselves a hug. Maybe saying nice things to yourself, like I love you, or I love myself. Giving yourself a massage, massaging your own legs, or stretching the body a little bit, or something like that. So this might be one approach, right? How to be kind to yourself. Spending time in this room. But even more important than that is we have to start with this personality of ours. And being kind to our personality means, first of all, to accept it. And that's where the difficulty already starts. The inability to accept who I am in this moment. It's really difficult. Really, really difficult. I've been practicing meditation for a while, and year after year I make new discoveries. Month after month I make new discoveries. And it's always, again and again, quite a surprise of how I missed the point. For example, I thought I knew that what kindness is and how I am kind to myself. Thinking like, for example, well, it's kind to meditate and it's nice. I'm being nice to myself when I sit down and meditate. I give myself a break. I knew that intellectually, and it felt, and that's a problem with the intellect, it feels like you really do know it. But you're actually not feeling it. You're not tasting it. It's not in your cells. It's not part of your character. It's not like a living, breathing experience. It's more like a kind of, yeah, I understand that. And I get the point of that. And I can say kind things to myself. And I can accept my anger. And I can accept my confusion and so forth. For most of us, ideally in the beginning, even if it's just some start, we're starting on this intellectual level of being kind to ourselves. Basically, we're starting from the head because it's the best place we know. Oh, sorry, it's the place we know best. It's the head. the world of thought, the world of abstraction, the world of our intellect, that we know really well. Really good at describing things, or really good at like organizing our lives, planning, and so forth. Seemingly really understanding how this is called and that is called and how the world works. But the intellect has this kind of way of kind of killing the magic of this moment. Because it's dry, it's quite dead actually. It's not really alive. It's not leading to an alive experience of this moment. And you can actually intellectually be kind to yourself. And that's where most people start from. They sit down and they recite, may I be happy, may I be well. May I be free from danger, may I be safe. Via this way, trying to create or elicit some sort of feeling. And that's the next kind of place. Or feeling kind is a sense of warmth, a sense of friendliness, almost like that feeling that you know when you see something cute, like a little puppy dog or a little child doing something kind of silly, and you see that and you feel it's really cute. And it gives you that warm kind of feeling towards the other living being that's there. It's very common with pets. That's why people like pets. You feel kind around your pet. It makes you feel kind. You're not feeling that you need to go into an intellectual debate with your pet about politics and the nature of whatever. That's it. It's the reason why pets are quite stress-free. They don't need nuclear weapons to position their intellect because they feel threatened. It doesn't go into that kind of realm. They're quite simple. And another thing is they just love you. And they don't care what you did. It's nice. Someone that just loves you because you're there. You're coming back home. You had a really horrible day at work. Your face is frowning. You're not feeling nice. You're all tense. Your pet is happy to see you. They're not feeling like, what's with that face? It's nice. They're just happy to see you. You're back home. Great. Lovely. And this is healing. It immediately softens you, doesn't it? You see your pet, the bad day at work is slowly going into the past. You can forget it now because there's your pet. It pays an undivided kind of attention to you and is just happy to see you. This kind of kind feeling that your pet elicits in you, if you can have that for yourself, meaning all aspects of you, this is quite difficult. Because what's in the way, actually? What's the problem here? The problem is that we are constantly approaching ourselves from the point of I should not, or I want, I don't want. This aspect of myself, I don't like it. How can I cut it out? How can I get rid of it? It's incredibly popular. If I would call this talk, for example, how to get rid of depression, it would be very popular online. Because people try to get rid of things. They don't like a feeling, then naturally the instinct is, kill it. You don't like someone else, natural instinct is, kill it. If we take it to the extreme, right? Of course, in the very beginning, just a tiny amount of dislike, you're not going to kill someone, but if you take it to the top, that's where it ends. This kind of approach of resisting and trying to add something to you, right? That's the other side of the coin. Trying to add something to me. I need to add experiences, people, interesting things. I need to add something to me. I'm kind of incomplete. There's a sense, for ego, there's always a sense of incompleteness. That's why we say to our spouse, we say, I love you, you complete me. And so we're constantly looking in our phones, in our computers, constantly looking at something to find a sense of completion. I need to add this on to myself so I can then be complete. And it's very subtle. It's very subtle. It always makes us chase the next kind of moment, the next thing. And it puts us in this constant field of tension towards ourselves. We're relating to ourselves through tension. Basically feeling unhappy to be here. I could do something else also. But now I'm here in this room and it's kind of awkward. It happens to everybody on retreat. It's just you. You sit there on your cushion and you have loads of time, no distraction. Some people are downright scared of that. So I'm not ready for this. Something inside of them says, I'm not ready to just be with myself in silence. But what is that? What is it that doesn't allow you to have a good time with yourself? Quietly. Not achieving, not building, not trying, not getting, not more. Why not also strengthen and train your ability to rest? Isn't that vital? Isn't it necessary to leave yourself alone? That is kindness. Meaning, fear is coming up. You're sitting there in your meditation, suddenly you're scared. Can happen. Happens to me sometimes. So there's just some inexplicable fear just arising out of nowhere. So what do I do with it? First instinct is, oh, damn it, fear. How do I get rid of it? And then I go through my toolbox, my spiritual toolbox. Here's what I could do. I could bombard it with kindness. I could cut it out with the precision knife of wisdom. I could concentrate it away. Right? That is all not kind. Not wise. And it will not lead to deeper concentration. Because we're not enjoying ourselves. And enjoying yourself means enjoying the whole package. Or at least appreciating the whole package. Seeing it. Every week I have people making great breakthroughs. People who are really depressed, like heavily depressed, being on medication, suicidal, unhappy, really unhappy. And I'm quite persistent with it. I say, pay attention to yourself with kindness. Leave it. Just don't touch your depression. Don't operate it away. Don't force yourself to be different. Don't impose your will on your mind. I think it's what gets us into these depressive states first of all. That we're constantly trying to perform the right way, function, constantly needing to function. And this is highly stressful, and that stress is reflected, or it is given to you as a feedback through depression and anxiety, insomnia. You can't rest. That's why people get sad. There's something missing. And it's the most vital thing that is missing, which is kind attention. I go so far to say that this is what would change this world into a paradise. Kind attention. Given that everyone would do this, given that everyone would suddenly make the decision, drop the hate, let's stop the senseless war and manslaughter, let's value kindness instead. Right? So it would require certain education. An education that's not based on fear, education that is based on friendliness. But that's not how the world is right now. Can you be kind to it anyways? Can you allow the madness to be there anyways? Because frankly, I think hardly anyone has a clue of what we're doing. Isn't it what some of the most wise people, the ancients, said? I know that I know nothing. So we consider those people who said these things wise. Because if you really look and you go beyond the realm of calling things with a certain label, then it very quickly turns out that we don't know very much at all. We just knew how to call things. We just knew how to add a word to something, and then we thought, okay, now we've added a word, I know what it is. But if you really look, quickly you'll be out of speech, you'll be speechless. There's not much that we know at all. And to be okay with that confusion too is kindness. Being all right with not knowing a damn thing. Sitting here having no clue how to run the mind. For example, I have no clue how to run the mind. Thoughts are running rampant, it's a monkey mind. It just gives me all kinds of things, memories. It gives me all kinds of emotions. Bam, bam, left, right. I don't know what to do with it. All right. It's okay. I have no clue what to do with it. I don't have to become an enlightened scholar, master, teacher. Drop it. I don't have to become that. Because I have no clue how to do it. But all I know right now is that the mind does what it does, and that the feelings do what they do, the emotions do what they do. The body does what it does. Can I just leave it? Not 24/7. I mentioned that last time on Tuesday. I'm not asking you to drop everything 24/7, but just maybe 10 minutes. Give yourself a break. 10 minutes of no controlling, no managing, no performing, no functioning. 10 minutes of resting. Are you okay with that? Not 24/7, huh? Just 10 minutes of rest. 10 minutes of not interfering with life. What is life? This body and this mind. Performing every second, doing what they do. Playing what has been put into it. The mind is just repeating it. Whatever you put into the mind, it will replay all the time. Even like obsessively. If you look at the realm of thought, you will notice it's the same thing all the time. Same stuff going through your head, day in, day out. Same topics, isn't it? Always same topics. Same stuff we think about. Someone training Muay Thai, Thai boxing, it's just their world of thought is probably all around Thai boxing all the time. About fitness, about whatever comes with that. Someone being spiritual, quote unquote, has a spiritual thought world. So we all have different kind of repetitive thought worlds. Can we just not touch it for 10 minutes? Let's not try to organize it, please. Not try to get rid of your fear. Just don't touch it. And that's when your heart gets excited, like in a good way. It starts to feel happy. It's like, oh, guys, he's listening. Let's show him what we want to show him for so long, and then they will show you stuff. The heart, the brain, your memory, they will show you things. For the sole purpose of you to leave your hands off it and let it go. It's almost like a healing that starts. All you need to do is just let it happen. Just get out of the way. It doesn't take much to be transformative. It does take your commitment to yourself. That, of course, depends to each one of you. How important are you to yourself? We always think we're taking ourselves very seriously and very important, but really not. We're constantly hurting ourselves. The way we think about ourselves, the inner self-talk. It might be very painful, very hurtful, continuously about the same kind of stuff. You know yourselves, right? You know how you think. And if you don't know yet, I encourage you, observe it. Have a look at what you're thinking about most of the time. And I can almost guarantee you it's all about control. It's all about trying. Trying to get better. Trying to get somewhere. It's paradise. Trying to get to this place where you will be complete. And then you will be happy ever after. It's going to be awesome. All you need to do is add meditation to yourself. And you will be fine. That's how the mind goes, right? And then you do your first meditation session, and then the mind says, all you need to do now is take away the distraction. You'll be fine. And then you take away the distraction. And all the mind then says, now you need to focus harder. It's endless. It's all about trying to get somewhere to become more complete. Literally, we're looking for ourselves outside of ourselves. We're looking for ourselves in relationships. We're looking for ourselves in work. We're looking for ourselves everywhere in this world. And surprise, we're not finding it. All we find is repetitive stuff. Ups and downs. War and peace. Good and bad. Night and day, breathe in, breathe out. Birth and death. But we don't find ourselves. How come? Because we're looking from ourselves. Are we not? So how can we see ourselves? Because once you can see, problems stop. There's completeness is right there, right now. If you follow the mind, it will turn us, no, you're not quite complete yet. You still need to add a few things, and you still need to cut a few things away, but soon. Now you added meditation, so it'll get better soon, hopefully. It will not, promise. It'll not get better. It's already fine. It's just we don't see it. We don't see it. This is the thing. And we don't see it because we're not kind to ourselves. That's how it starts. That's how your heart opens. Kindness meaning really leaving yourself alone. Just try it. Just this evening, just sit down. When you're back home, in your bed, alone by yourself, about to sleep, just be kind to your body, to your mind. Just allow the fear to be there. Allow the feelings to be there. anxiety, worries, depression, allow it. Give up fighting yourself. That's where all the misery is coming from. This constantly fighting ourselves. I shouldn't be unhappy. But you are. Yeah, but I should not. But you are. And you are because you're trying not to be. It's paradoxical, isn't it? You're unhappy because you're trying to be happy. Happiness is not a trying. It's not a happening. Happiness is not a struggle. How could it be? Relaxation is not something for you to make. Imagine, tomorrow I'll come to you and I accompany you the entire day, and I'm going to make you relax. Every step of your day I'm going to be with you, right behind you. I'm going to make you relax. Anything you do, I'm going to censor and make sure that you only do the right things. That is what ego does to yourself every day, day in, day out, isn't it? It's behind you a few steps and it's constantly making sure that you're not messing up. How can you relax like that? You can only relax if you realize, like, oh wow, it's all a bit messy and it's fine. That's how it is. That you can relax with the mess. You don't have to fix it. Ego wants to fix the world. It wants to fix everything. It wants to fix yourself. Come on, let me fix you. If I would be doing that, you get angry at myself, right? You would say, like, just, can you leave? Can you go back home? Do you have nothing better to do? Just constantly running with me and telling me how to relax. Just get out of my face. And your mind is doing precisely that in response to the egoic imposing of will on yourself. Constantly, I need to willfully make myself good. Doesn't that come from the assumption that you're not good enough? If you have to make yourself good, what does that imply? Not good enough. And I just take a guess, I think that all of us in this room, this is a global disease. Nobody feels good enough. Nobody really likes themselves. We're all busy performing surgery, day in, day out. And that's the reason why we cannot meditate, is the reason why we cannot live our lives happy and peacefully. It's the reason why things go wrong. We're constantly resisting, fighting ourselves, trying to make it all nice and good. Let's make the world nice and flat, so I don't have to suffer its roundness. There's an Indian saint, a long, long time ago he lived, Shantideva. So you can't cover the entire world in leather, so you're not stepping into thorns. However, you can cover your own 2 feet, and has the same effect, doesn't it? Meaning, why are we busy changing everything constantly so that we don't suffer? That includes yourself, by the way. You don't have to be different, so you do not need to suffer yourself. All that has to stop is you suffering yourself. That has to stop. And being kind to yourself is the radical opposite of suffering yourself. This is a recent discovery of mine, thanks to a hint from my teacher. He always gives me like gentle little hints, not even directly addressing me. Just here, have a look at this teaching on kindness, addressing someone else. You can take hints from life. You can learn from life. If you listen, you're open, you will receive. And then you take these teachings, and then just for a short while, I've been discovering, wow, this is what's been lacking in my own meditation practice for such a long time. To just leave it. Not mess with myself. Not trying to be a different kind of Tobi. Temptation for many of you will be to run away from yourself. You'll have to put up with that. It's part of being kind, learning to be kind, not to run away from yourself. Running away from a conflict is not kind. Solving the problem is kind. And you will run away maybe for the rest of your life. There's that suffering, right? You run away from it and you will encounter it elsewhere again. Then you run again. You're encountering it again. And each and every time that suffering comes to you, it's like an alarm clock. It tells you, hey, here's something that you still need to learn to be kind to. And it will come again and again until you're kind to it. Until you decide, so now I'm going to sit down with it and I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to listen to it. I'll learn from it and appreciate it. Because your fear has a teaching for you. It has something to tell you. All you need to do is listen. Take your time. That would be something so healing, even for relationships. If you're coming home to your spouse, all your spouse wants from you is to listen. That is what we find most beautiful. It's amazing each time. Usually I talk a lot with Pan. And I talk and I talk. And I notice she doesn't really listen, but sometimes she listens. That's really nice. It feels really good. It's like, wow. I noticed the difference. It's a huge difference. Wow, she really listens. Most of the time it's just like this kind of, we're eating something and then just blah, 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 talking, and then she talks and not even really looking at each other, just talking, blah, 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 Nothing too serious, But then there are these moments when suddenly her eyes come up and she looks into my eyes and she really listens. It's amazing, it's soothing, it's healing. This is the power of appreciation, of attention. If you can give that to yourself, it is just as healing. It's just as nice. And you can bathe in it. You can swim in your own kindness. It's the most beautiful experiences. This is where meditation happens. Meditation, you cannot do it. You cannot sit down and willfully meditate yourself into peaceful, blissful states. It doesn't work. Trust me. I didn't trust other teachers when they told me. So you have to make your experiences, most probably. You have to kind of push and force until you see it doesn't work. And then you will remember, oh yeah, there was this guy, he said that one day. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. Pushing doesn't work. It's unhappy. So it doesn't lead to happiness. So this is just a little reflection on kindness, all that comes to mind for today.